chat. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright. On last episode, we're figuring that maybe this blackmail letter wasn't written for Ron. It was written maybe for someone else. As for that who could be, we're thinking possibly Luke, but why? We're trying to figure out why Bullard would blackmail Luke.
Well, I said bring $50,000 or I'll reveal your identity.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something else about it regarding the red jewel, right?
I can check? Yeah, I think so. Oh, yeah.
If you identity revealed to the world, come to KB Security at 1 a.m. on October 12th and bring $50,000. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead.
And he is wearing the red diamond on his finger.
And that... I don't... That's not incredibly threatening, truth be told. Like, pay me or I'm going to take another thing as payment.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, are you satisfied? Why would he hold a grudge against Mr. Delight? He, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't really have any reason to.
I mean, yeah, sure he, did that thing, but he then got
fired. Turn around and fired him for it,
yeah.
And that was the end of it.
Right. What do you mean by that?
Oh my, I was certain you were already aware. Zavari!
KB Security has a lot of security info in all sorts of companies. Instead of security team's chief, I stole data from the company.
King Bullard had yet to forgive Mr. Young Delight, which is why he sent him that letter upon mistaking believing he was a thief.
Here's a file that we discovered in Mr. Bullard's office. Evidence that Mr. Bullard was receiving money through his blackmail.
However, isn't this a bit odd? Why did the defendant pay Mr. Bullard the money, even though he wasn't actually Master Mask? On that point, there was an unfortunate bit of chance.
Do you really think that this story is going to hold up?
The assertion is not merely my own, I'm afraid.
What do you mean?
I have here a memo from Ron Delight's wife, Desiree Delight. Ronnie thinks he's Master Mask. Don't you feel sorry for him? Please don't think too badly of him. Well, Mr. Trite?
Was he trying to act like Miss Delight just now?
I thought he was actually pretty convincing.
That's just your imagination talking.
Come now, Sir Lawyer. I'm afraid imagination isn't the right word for it. This is a deduction, the result of carefully applied reasoning. Can't we hear that careful reasoning for ourselves? It's a long story, and better saved for another time. Very well, another time.
Those so-called long stories aren't usually all that long. At least, not in my experience.
So you're gonna try to connect Detective Adme to Mr. Bullard, right?
Yeah, that's right. They don't require surgery either.
In that case, you'll have to talk about the blackmail.
That's true. Was this blackmail letter really intended for Ron?
Since we don't have enough information, you should press him for more testimony.
Maybe I'll start to shake up some contradictions that way. I'm gonna try this. Actually, I'll say it first.
What are you gonna try and do?
Well, I'm gonna try putting the newspaper, because he said he had no contact. Okay. Well, that wasn't right. I'm also gonna try to press again, because apparently you have to press things twice after learning new information, so let's see if this says anything new.
We already got that.
Okay. No, nothing new. See if we get anything new in this.
Nope. Let's see, we've already talked about that. Store data. Yeah, we already knew about that.
Yeah.
Evidence. Receiving money from blackmail. wait a second.
Yeah?
If he wants all this, you know, like... Huh?
Oh, it was just the...
Okay. But he's been sending multiple blackmail letters to Ron, who's been paying all of them. So why would Ron now suddenly decide enough is enough and kill the guy?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, but he just seemed like too much of a coward to just suddenly up and be like, I'm gonna kill him now. Especially on that particular night when I was asking him to come to a very specific location, to the CEO's office no less, with the buzzer that was right there and all the cameras that could have seen him coming in. I mean, yeah, he knew the blind spots and everything, but he was also dressed as mask to mask, so he wouldn't really care about being seen anyway. Then he spent 10 minutes stuffing the body into the safe because he was dazed from waking up out of consciousness, right? What'd you get?
It was what he said. It was Mr. Bullard who sent it to Mr. Delight, and I presented the blackmail letter. Because, it, like you said, it says the CEO's office instead of my office. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme?
Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright.
When you saw this letter that was addressed to Ron Delight, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction.
Contradiction?
I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that.
You're the one to talk.
At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior?
Indeed. Time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence and the content of the blackmail letter.
What?
So are we supposed to select the blackmail?
I presented the blackmail letter. I'm supposed to show the contradicting evidence. The contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter?
Something that contradicts the blackmail letter?
Okay, what's in the blackmail letter?
You can only your true identity revealed to the world. Come to KB Security at 1 a.m. on October 12th and bring $50,000. If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead.
Okay. So what?
What red diamond?
Well, right, but also what's the contradicting evidence of the blackmail letter? No, that's not right. Yeah, it's not right.
Okay. Load. Okay.
Let's say here now.
Cool. Alright. Contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. Well, the only thing that he had stolen recently was the urn, right?
I didn't try for that thing. No.
Can we take a look at that list of the heists he's committed?
Yeah. Whoops, I presented it.
Jewel, artifact, sculpture, painting. So... Wait a second. The only jewel he's stolen was the Tear of Eminon.
And that's blue.
Yeah. The Crown of Bangvora is it's a crown. Left Hand of Hades is part of a sculpture. And the other thing is another piece of artwork.
Okay, that's not it.
So
I think the contradiction is who it's meant for, but do I just present this again? No. No.
If you don't want your true identity revealed, bring $50,000 to the CEO's office at KB Security at 1 a.m. on October 12th. Otherwise, if you don't, I'll take that red jewel you picked up the other day instead.
In the content of the blackmail letter.
Wait, he didn't bring the money with him, did he?
No, but how would we prove that? Or how can we use... I don't...
His wallet, because he fucking dropped it. And as far as I'm aware, there was no money found in it, right?
Well, I can try that, maybe.
Well, what did you just try?
I just tried the Ron's testimony about the other blackmail letters.
No. Okay. Is your phone going off?
No, that's Carl's.
So.
In the content, in the content. I already tried that anyway.
Wait a second.
Yeah?
So, all the way up through 20 days ago, it was staging as, the heist for stealing the sacred urn, right?
Okay.
That being said, 10 days ago is when the calling card came out, and so for those entire 20 days, Adme has been doing nothing but focusing on trying to steal the urn. Where did he have the time to pick up the red jewel?
I don't know.
That being the case, what time did Master Mask have to pick up this red jewel? Because it's not in the list anywhere, even though he's blackmailing him about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
This probably written them wrong, so yeah.
hey Eagle, how you doing? Hi. She purring. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead.
Wait, where does he even say go to the CEO office?
Come to KB Security at 1 a.m. Oh yeah, it doesn't even say anything about the CEO's office. Just to KB Security.
It doesn't seem like it's right.
Okay, so then, what, we have to prove... Is it that article? That newspaper clipping? Because the jewel's blue and that's the only jewel we've seen.
Was that really it? Because we even mentioned that earlier, but I didn't think it would had any relevance.
I figured because it's a past thing, like...
Jeez.
Anyway.
Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the tear of Emanon, the stolen jewel.
Well, what about it?
The problem is that the jewel's color.
Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself.
According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel was mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day.
Right.
Which means, the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the tier diamond that Master Mask stole at all. I can't believe we even mentioned that. But we were like... Because we were like, well, the only one
It's
we
not
saw...
on the list, though. That's my biggest thing. I kept on my mind. It's like, well, every single other thing that was stolen has been on the list.
It just didn't really seem like the thing to present, though. It seemed irrelevant.
Right.
So...
Or maybe not irrelevant, but not relevant to this particular point.
Right. I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
And your point is, Mr. Trite? So, you're trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is what you're trying to say, right, Trite?
That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright? Well, that is what you're trying to say, right, Nick?
Yes. This is who...
Did you just fart on me, man?
What? Ew. Goodness. Also, she's a woman, thank you very much. I know. This is who...
Kane Bullen was actually blackmailing.
Naturally, it was you, Detective Atme.
Do you have some sort of basis for that claim?
You have been personally involved in every single Master Mask case. In the last case, you recovered what was stolen, and received a jewel as your reward.
A jewel?
Probably the one wrapped around conspicuously around your finger. The red diamond ring. That is the diamond referred to in this letter, which means that the Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you.
Order on the court. Order, I say.
It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite.
Uh-oh. I don't like the way he said that.
K-Bullet blackmailing Luke at me? Are you for real?
Yes, I am.
Nick, come on, stand up to him.
Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world.
Yes, it certainly does.
K-Bullet threatened to make Luke Atme's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity?
Atme killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of a secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret?
This is what it all comes down to, Nick.
The identity, Luke Atme wanted to keep a secret. It was as a blackmailer. Luke Atme, it was a blackmailer.
Hey now, you're a rock star.
Get your game on. Go play.
Isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Kane Bullet was the one blackmailing Luke Atme. Are you saying that Atme was blackmailing someone else on top of that?
You have to admit, that does sound a little odd.
It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atme. But Ron Delight was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So did you start recently seeking blackmail letters after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Terror Venomon heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans.
Detailed plans? In which case, that would mean that Ron Delight was actually Master Mask.
That is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Atme.
Shh! Silence!
Now I see. It's all becoming clear.
What is?
When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Tennis with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong?
How did you...
You say that I, Luke Atme, was blackmailing Ron Delight?
Oh no, Kitty, the microphone. Kitty, I swear to God, you're fine for now, but if you start sniffing and rubbing your head against it, I'm gonna move ya. Okay, you're just lying down.
She just really wasn't laying the pizza box, I guess.
Okay.
Anyway. In which case, I would naturally have known all about his relation to Master Mask.
Well, yes.
Ron Dillon started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed the first crime. Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise.
In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. During the first crime, how did Look At Me know that Ron DeLay was Master Mask?
Well, from that same photo.
I think I see it.
See what?
When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets in lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention.
What do you mean?
This newspaper clipping has a picture of you and Ron DeLay in his guard uniform. It seems that Master Mask didn't just disappeared into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket.
That sounds far too stupid to be true.
Correct. Which, with tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone a nice detective. And that's when he figured it out, Mr. Abney. That's when you learned that under his mask, Master Mask was really Ron DeLay. Wasn't he supposed to be Master Mask?
Not only that, it looks like he wasn't even an ace detective.
I can't believe it. He was just a slimy blackmailer.
What a fraud! Trying to pass himself off as an ace detective. Why you? How dare you expose me like that? Why, I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective, and also Master Mask. Why can't you understand that?
I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer, and that is your true identity.
Why you? How dare you even dare imply that
You're not even gonna bother.
Nope.
He's just talking about how everyone's jealous anyway.
Yeah. And he's gonna get away with all of it.
Yeah.
It would seem we finally arrived at the real answer. That was quite a performance by Mr. Atney. Bailiff, please prepare yourself for Mr. Atney.
The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim.
I guess that's true.
What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling.
Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge.
But you're not the judge.
You don't get much more in your face than that. It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trite.
What do you...
It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Atney was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't absolutely Taylor the night of the murder.
That's right. That's why he's the one who killed Mr. Bolt.
But there's still one thing you have yet to prove.
What's that?
Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered.
No way!
Order. Order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright?
This is it. This is the final round. I've got to prove that Abney was at Mr. Bolt's office on that night.
But can you really prove that? That's long enough. Mr. Trite, I want to hear your answer.
I'm gonna say it real quick. That night, Luke Atney was at KB security in the defense.
Can we prove it?
Can we? Do we have evidence to show that he wasn't... Because all we've been going off of was the silhouette, but we can't prove the silhouette. We can't even present that.
Well, let's think about how Kane Bullard died. He was...
Hit over the head.
As was Ron.
Yes.
We don't have definitive proof because we don't have like video evidence or anything showing that he was there, right?
No, but if the blackmail was in fact intended for Luke, and then Luke then went and you reused that same blackmail to Ron. I think we use a blackmail letter. The defense can prove it with evidence.
Ha! Don't you worry. I'll watch over you. As you break down a fall into pieces.
Right, well then, let's see this proof. Proof that Luke Eggman was at KB security that night.
This is the proof.
It's true, that is very important. However, I'm not so foolish as to think that will pass for evidence here.
Shit.
Mr. Trey, it's time you learn the true flavor of life. The flavor of my special Go-No Blend 49!
Well, Mr. Wright.
It's bitter. Very bitter. Okay.
So that's not it.
Alright, so can we prove it using something else?
Let's see.
What struck Mr. Bullet over the head that killed him?
I don't think we have the murder weapon unless it was the fucking sword.
I get the funny feeling it wasn't that.
Let's find out. Actually, I'm gonna try it. No.
Like,
I don't know, man. That's the only thing I can think of. Like,
okay, so we don't have a murder weapon. We definitely have a motive because he was being blackmailed by KB.
yes.
But we don't have the murder weapon, and we don't have any definitive proof saying that he was there, other than witness testimony. Saying that somebody was there, not necessarily Luke.
Yes. But Luke was the one getting blackmailed, so that would lead you to believe that he was the one that was there. And he also used the same blackmail to bring Ron to act as a scapegoat.
Right.
So honestly, the only thing I could think of is the blackmail, but that didn't work.
Right, so what else do we have to possibly tie him even just to the building? There's the key card that Ron used to get in.
Oh, that's right! The keycard was inside the blackmail letter. Let's try that. That didn't work.
No? Well, I guess it only proves that Ron used it to get into the CEO's office. That doesn't actually prove that Luke was there.
Yeah. How did Luke even get that anyway?
That's a good question. How did he get in if he didn't use the key card?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because remember, according to Ron, somebody else was already in there when the thing happened.
Should I say can't prove it and see what happens?
Is it?
Yeah, because I can always just reload if it doesn't.
Is it anything regarding the buzzer somehow?
How would that prove it? Who was there?
No fingerprints on it. What's the binder thing again? That's just a list of...
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next bit is... No, the one... that. Buzzing went off at 1:02 a.m. I guess it's not, because I don't...
I can't prove it.
Just as I thought.
But, if we hear more of Detective Atmey's testimony...
Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trey.
What do you mean?
I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean.
What?
Have you forgotten? Luke Abbey is here after we interrupted his own trial. And you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as mask to mask.
No.
Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as mask to mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Run the Lights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Order. Order in the court. That's enough deliberation over this witness.
I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is...
Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and...
By then, it'll be too late.
Huh? Why? Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law. Double jeopardy?
Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, that defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts. And it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else.
Mr. Abbey will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as mask to mask. Which means
He will be innocent as far as the murder of Kane Bullard is concerned.
no way.
The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Abbey's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as Kane Bullard's murderer.
Yeah. No, there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer, look at me, will go free.
Well, in a sense. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today, and as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Abbey.
Is that Francesca? That sounds like Francesca. Do the voice.
I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result.
How did you...
Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets.
Wait, what? That voice? No way. Oh. Never mind. I'm sorry. I thought it.
I kind of did too, honestly.
Now I kind of feel silly,
Right?
hearing your Francesca voice saying that smile no matter, and I was like, wait, that doesn't sound like.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like her at all.
No, I really
Maybe, I guess in a certain sense I could see it, after she, had her, long walk of,
yeah.
self-discovery, she's back after a year, just like Miles and everything, and has a new outlook.
Exactly, it would make sense, Miles came back in the second game, it makes sense for Francesca to come back in the third
grab a
game.
hold of yourself, man,
Yeah.
it's okay!
Yeah. Well, we're already a bit over time, so in the next episode, we will...
see what Mia has to say.
Yeah, see you guys then.
Bye.